Hey everybody, this is Grace. In this video, I'm going to talk about people who are cheap and lazy, and I have in the past, but this one I'm going to focus on bosses, okay, or like owners of companies, whomever is, in a position above yours at your job. Okay, now some people might call this, narcissistic abuse, actually, because they do, or just toxic people. They do things that normally would not happen on a job, such as one time I was lucky to skirt this one. One time I was interviewing for a job, and it was for a director position, and I was interviewing with an executive director, and he was a little younger than I, probably 10, 15 years. And this wasn't that long ago, he started talking to me about what my job duties were. And I was like, no, these are your job duties. Okay, seriously. And he was telling me, some of the things about him, what he was saying, and he was saying about all of the employees, was basically that they had to work as many hours as he said, and they were all on salary. No, that doesn't happen. But he went on and on about this, and I think the interview was like two hours long. Well, I reported him to another one of his, one of the chains, like a chain, it wasn't really a chain, and then to his corporate office. And they said he could not have done that at all. I said, yeah, well, right. So I got so used to so many things that couldn't be done, were done. Yeah, and they claimed that they couldn't be done, but they were done. So yeah, and of course, not just that place, but various places. But basically, this guy wanted to hire somebody who would do his job for him and her or his own. I'm a her, so, their own, they couldn't do their own job. They would have to do their own job plus his job. And then he would get paid for his job, of course, his position. And now, some people would say cheap, what is that? Cheap or lazy? But yeah, think about it for a minute. And there are other things I've seen, bosses basically that get their people, you don't belong to them. Get their employees, their staff, to do their job for them. They spread it out between this one, that one, and the other, and all they do is sit in their office and probably play solitaire all day long. But I've seen it. I'm not saying that all of them do that. Nope, not saying that at all. But another thing that I had seen, while I was a career student, many years, I worked a lot of temporary or seasonal jobs. And one of the things that I noticed on almost every one of them, and this is different types, different places, big, huge corporations, little to tiny, mom and pop kind of thing. Mine was mainly in the office, okay? And one of the things that I noticed most was that they would not supply the employees with, good office supplies, okay? They would, maybe cheap pens, but they really didn't even want to buy the pens. They didn't want to buy anything. They wanted the employees to buy their own supplies. Seriously. And while I'm on that topic, I also worked every once in a while as a substitute teacher. And that was when I was in graduate school. I worked as a substitute teacher for I don't know how many districts. And one of them, when I was reading they had you spend a whole day watching videos and doing tests online, unpaid. Yeah, and they still do that. And last time I heard, in the videos, as a substitute teacher, okay, you wouldn't have to have your own supplies. And they made a list of your supplies. Now, your supplies, no. That they expected you to have, no. No, I don't think any job should ask you to have your own supplies. Seriously. But a school district, yeah, might be surprised what they want to get away with. Okay, of course that's not all of them, but some of them, yeah. Usually they have like orientations or trainings, and they don't pay the substitute teachers or the potential substitute teachers. They used to in the past. And I remember one of them I checked on, and it was 20 years they hadn't, 15 or 20 years, they hadn't changed their daily pay, because they pay daily. Some of them. I don't know where you live. But I checked on it, hadn't changed it in 20 years. Think about that. And the cheap part too is how much they pay people. And what I have seen through my life is that these are people who are trying to look good to their bosses. And I've heard this from people who were in executive positions, and that how the pressure is to keep the costs down. And some of the things would be like this, so they don't have to buy their own supplies. So they get the employee to buy supplies, and also the pay. They keep the pay as low as possible for, I'm not talking just about school districts. I'm talking about any kind of job, as low as possible. I don't know about you, but lately especially, just going to the grocery stores costs an arm and a leg. I don't work. I'm a homemaker. Adam's an electrical engineer. He's not. The money's not an issue for us anymore, but it was at a time years ago. And we both say, how do people survive these days? People who are hurting for money, that they don't, they make this amount that these cheap people, trying to look good toward, for themselves, and they don't care what other people are earning as long as they can keep it close to minimum wage as possible. It doesn't, that's their thing. That it helps them. They don't care. What kind of behavior is that? But how do people survive? I can tell you that some of the pay rates, I had this thing that keeps sending me pay rates of job that I worked at many years ago when I was in my 20s. And I could cut it off, but I'm curious. And it shows me the pay rates are still the same as it was like, I'd say at least the past 10, 15 years. Wow, But I've been saying this for years now, that the rate that they want to pay many people that I've seen when, I really don't, wasn't looking for those because I did like a bunch of temporary jobs and stuff. But I would see what they were paying or hear what they were paying people, like for office jobs. And it was unbelievable that I was earning when I was their age, they're still earning now. Okay. And this is a shame. This is very cheap. This deals with people's their life. How do they live? I do not understand, because you go to the grocery store these days for two people, and a week it might be around 100 to 150. If you don't eat every meal at home, then you have to add what you do. And it used to be more like, I think not too many years ago, I could live off of, say, $25, $50 a week myself. Just myself, a week on groceries. I wasn't eating very healthy, but, still you can do it. But it's like the past, I'd say 5 to 10 years, 5 to 7 years, it has just really exploded, the prices. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. The prices are so high and the pay is so low, relative to the prices of things, including, a lot of services too, like cable, for when, you got to buy the whole package and all this, or you just don't have those services. It's just exploded, all of it. When are the pay scales going to explode along with it? Yeah, promises, never comes through. I don't care. I mean, it's seriously, like I said before, I'm an independent thinker, independent all around, and I want to see some of these things actually come through, and not always benefit the corporations and always benefit people who already have the money. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up, and I'll talk to y'all in another video.